How's it going, guys? Here we are once again at the casino. This is the day after yesterday's vlog, so usually I just film once a week, but I'm on such a bad run. Now it is 7 days in a row, and I want to film when I have a winning session. I want to film it, so screw it. We're filming today too. I'm feeling good. I'm pretty happy with myself, how I've improved my mental game. Like before, I'd have like one losing session or maybe two in a row, and I'd take a day off, you know. So I'm happy with myself. That makes me feel good, you know, seeing how I came a long way since I started. But yeah, let's hop right into the game and let's win. It's about time. All right, let's do it. We forgot to sign up to the list until the last moment, so we're fourth in line for 2-5 and way down the list in a 1-3, but we get lucky to just open up a brand new 1-3 table. So we pick our seat, buy in for $300, and let's get right into the first hand. First hand in, I've got ace queen off in the cutoff. Under than one makes it 15, folds back to us, and he's a decently tight player. But in the cutoff, I don't want to call and get a bunch of players to call behind. So I think it's strong enough to 3-bet. I make it $45. It folds back to him, and he does call. So we go heads up to a flop. Flop comes ace 10-8. So we got top pair, queen kicker. It checks to us, and I did get a little worried in this spot. He's a pretty tight player. And the fact that he called me out of position, I felt like he was really strong. And I definitely think he could have ace-king in his range. So with that in mind, I kind of just went pretty nitty. And I did check. I think a bet here is better anyways. If I think he could have a stronger hand, maybe I could just two-barrel and check the river, check the turn. But I do think I should be betting the flop. But in the moment, I do check. So let's see the turn. Turn is a 9. So queen-jack is a straight. And it brings in a backdoor flush draw. But when he checks to us, let's get some value now. I make it $60, and he calls. River is a deuce, so the backdoor flush does come in, and now under than one leads out for $60 onto us. And yeah, definitely he could have a flush, but is he really betting this size? It just looks like a block bet, and people don't tend to do that with a flush. They usually make big sizes, and this is like a little over a third pot size. So I think for a little while, and yeah, he could have a flush, but for that price, for that size, you know, maybe just blocking with a worse queen. I don't know. I put in a call, and he flips over ace queen as well, but of clubs, so he has the nuts. Interesting size he made with it, but hey, he takes it down, and we're down our first hand, ace queen against ace queen. Now we're in a big blind with pocket nines. There's 3 limpers. Hijack makes it 25. Folds to us. Yeah, I'm just calling here. I'm probably never 3-betting in this situation in 1-3 against this player. He's pretty tight. So I'm happy just going for a call, and the limper's full, so heads up to a flop. Flop is ace 5-4, so overcard to a pocket pair, not great. When I check and he bets $25, I don't think I could be folding yet, so I put in a call. Turn is not the best. Another overcard, it's a queen, so when I check, I'm just done. I'm folding to any bet, but he checks back. There is a 6. I'm just happy to get the showdown. I check, he checks back, but he shows pocket jacks for a better pocket pair, and he takes it down. So yeah, not the best start for trying to book a win for the vlog. We're already down over $200 in just a few hands playing 1-3. Definitely not the best, but it kind of just feels like I'm expecting it, but I'm trying to focus. We can win. And what could help us with that? Pocket kings in the cutoff. There's 3 limpers, and now the hijack makes it $15. This guy is pretty crazy recreational. He's been playing every single hand so far, but he's been limping almost every time. So the fact that he raises makes me feel like he may have a decently strong hand. So hopefully he does. We 3-bet to 50. It folds back to him, and we see the good news when he calls. Flop comes 4-5 deuce. So I think it's pretty safe. I think most hands that he'd connect with that would limp. I mean, there is ace 3, but again, he's just been limping almost every hand. So I thought he'd be doing the same with all of those. So I'm feeling pretty good. So I c-bet for $50, and he calls. Turn is a 6, so any 3 has a straight. But once again, I just was putting him on a pretty strong range since he always limps, and he raised and he called a 3-bet out of position. So when he checks, I think it's more likely he has an overpair or a flush draw. So with that in mind, I'm not going to slow down and give him a free river card. I make it $100, and he goes all in for... He covers us, so that's just $100 more. So yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I still think he may be doing this with some random hands. I was not putting him on a 3, so hopefully he doesn't. I call. He flips over 5-3 off. What? Yeah, I want to monetize, so I'm trying to be proper. But what the hell is going on? He raised and then called a 3-bet with 5-3 off and hits his straight on the turn against my pocket kings. I'm really not even mad. This just seems hilarious. This is definitely pretty accurate for the run I've been having. But yeah, let's see the river. And the river comes a 3. I couldn't believe it. So straight on the board. So we chop it up. This, as I said on the title, was probably the most absurd hand I've ever played. And I'm so happy I got it on video. I don't care that I chop with pocket kings against 5-3 off. I'm just happy that we chopped and I got this on video. Let's move on to the next. So we've lost 2 hands. We've chopped the hand. All we got left is to win one. Let's see if we could do it with 10-9 suited and under the gun 2. I make it $12 and get the button and small blind to call. So 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen 5 deuce. The backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Maybe a little too aggressive, but hey, I want to win a pot. I see bet for $20. But yeah, I mean, being serious, I think we could have a pretty good amount of turn cards. Any diamond, any ace or king that's an overcard, and the king gives us a gut shot, the jack, the 8. There's a few good turn cards I could barrel on. And we're going to put a little pressure on the button. That's going to have to be a little tighter with another person left to act. And I think the small blind may be pretty wide. So that's what I do. And the button calls, small blind folds. So heads up to a turn. Turn is a deuce. So yeah, not one of the turn cards I wanted to keep this bluff going, especially one that pairs the board. So I give up, I check, and the button checks back. So we still may have a chance to take down this pot on the river since I think she's betting a queen herself on the turn. So she may just have a sticky second pair or a pocket pair below the queen. So let's hope we get a good river, but nope. It comes a 5 that pairs the board once again. So I'm not bluffing on this river. I check, she checks back, I show, and she shows ace 4 off for ace high. That is good. She had a gut shot on the flop, and she takes it down. Now we got king 6 suited, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the audio, so let's listen.
Goes by Joey L. Winner.
Let's go. We hit the $100 promotion. That's always nice, helping us to get a little closer to breaking even. And we hear more good news when they say they're going to open a new 2-5. That's amazing. Since being 4th in line for 2-5 when it's only one table can be hours. So we're going to be able to play a lot sooner than expected. We rack up, head on to the new table. We add on to be at $1,000. That's the max buy-in. And let's jump right into the first hand. Things don't start off great. First hand, we're forehand. We're still waiting for everybody to show up. When we have queen 8 suited in the cutoff, we make it 15, button calls, and basically with the showdown, he has the same hand like us, queen 8 suited. So second hand, we chop. Next hand, we have pocket 7s in the big blind. A left position raises, another person calls, and we call. Overcards show up, so we fold as well, and that brings us to the next hand. A few more people showed up, so now it's 7-handed. We looked at a king, queen off in under the gun. I make it 15, and only the big blind calls, so heads up to a flop. Flop comes jack, ace, ace, so we flop a gut shot. And he checks, and I'm always c-betting here. And if I had an ace, I'd probably do it small. So that's what I do. I make it $10, and he calls. Turn is 8, and I ended up deciding to go for a check here since I don't think I'm getting any jack to fold on the turn if I bet. So I'll probably have to triple barrel if I want that to fold. And I don't even know this player if he would, being in the big blind. And of course, the ace isn't folding, that he may have some weaker aces that aren't going to 3-bet. So all that in mind, I decided to check. I still have a gut shot, and if I hit a king or queen, it's very likely it's good. So that's what I do. Let's see a river. River is beautiful. It's a 10, so we hit our gut shot. We have a straight, not the nuts, of course, since the board is paired, but still against the big blind, I mean, this is amazing. And it's even better when he bets. He makes it $35. And yeah, we're raising here. If he has a full house, he has it. If he 3-bets here, then we'll just figure out what to do. But I think calling here is just way too tight. If he has an ace, maybe even a jack that doesn't believe my line since I checked the turn. So I raise it up. I make it $110. He takes for a little while and finally does put in the call. I show, and we are good. We take down our first pot. Let's go. The table filled up, and we're in under the gun with pocket 8s. I make it 15. I get a button and big blind to call. So 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes 5-5-3. That's a pretty good flop for our hand for not hitting the set. Big blind checks onto us, and I'm not a fan. I check here, and yeah, sure, big blind could have some 5s. But the thing is, maybe if you had a bigger pocket pair, but checking here, and getting to a turn, they're just most likely going to be an overcard, and now we're not in the best spot with our pocket eights. So yeah, I definitely prefer betting here because of that. We need a lot of protection, but I do check. Button checks as well. So let's see the turn. Turn is great. It's another 5. So now we have a full house, and it's way less likely anybody has a 5. When a big blind checks again, I think we have the best hand almost always here. So let's get some value. I make it $25. Button folds, but a big blind does call. River is a queen, and now he leads out for $115. That's an overbet. And yeah, he could have queens since I checked the flop and then bet just on the turn. So he could definitely call with ace queen, king queen. I don't know about queen jack. That feels pretty sticky. But yeah, when it's on to us, I think I could find a fold here, especially against that huge bet. I don't think there's too many bluffs since there's not really draws. There is a flush draw on the turn, but are they really going to call when anything that's betting for value is a full house? I don't think so. But yeah, in the moment, I do put in the call, and he shows king queen for river, better full house. So yeah, I definitely think I butchered this hand by checking the flop and then calling that river bet. But you know, part of poker, everybody makes mistakes. And the only thing we can do is not get affected by it, not let us put us on tilt. Let's focus and move on to the next hand. All right, now we are in the button with ace queen off. The low jack makes it 20 onto us, and in the button, I'd definitely call sometimes. But on this table, I haven't 3-bet yet, so let's do it. I make it $60, folds back to him, and he does call. So heads up to a flop. Flop comes 5, king 6, so we don't really have much. But in a 3-bet pot in position, I'm always going to put a c-bet here since I have a lot of kings. So when he checks, I bet $40, and he does fold. So great news. Let's move on to the next. Once again, we are in the button with what maybe you could say is an upgrade or equally strong hand, pocket jacks. Cutoff makes it 20, and we're always 3-betting here. I make it 60, and now the small blind makes it 250. He's a fairly aggressive player, but still not loving his spot. And even less when the cutoff goes all in, but he was a short stack. He's just $300. So yeah, I'm good. I fold, and they go all in. Small blind ended up having pocket aces, cutoff pocket queens, and no jack came. So yeah, happy that the cutoff went all in. That made my decision a lot easier, and the small blind takes it down. This table was a must move, and now we hear our name to move to the main game. So once again, we rack up, head over to the main game. That looks pretty good. As we're getting situated, we hear our name again, this time for a promotion of $200. Nice. That's definitely a huge help. Already up $300 just with that. And let's move on to the first hand of this new table. We've got jack 10 off and a hijack under the limb, so I make it 20, and only he called, so heads up to a flop. Flop comes 7-4 deuce, so yeah, not much going on for us. But when he checks, I think I could c-bet here. I think this player, he'll just fold if I bet. And if I get aces or kings or any queen to fold, that's a big win for us. So that's what I do. And he check raises us to 50. And he's a tighter, older guy. I don't think he's bluffing much here. I don't think he's thinking too much that this isn't good for my range. And on top, he says that he knows I didn't hit this board. So that just seems like he's nudging me, trying to get me to call. And yeah, jack high against this player's check raise. No, thank you. I fold. On to the next. So we got a premium pocket queens and under the gun. I make it $15 and get the hijack, button, and big blind to call. So 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes 8-6-3, so pretty good since there's no overcard to a pocket pair. Big blind checks, and yeah, I think usually you should just c-bet here. In a moment, I do decide to check, and what I had in mind is that this range, this board is definitely better for my opponents, and it's very likely one of them may bet if I check to them, the hijack or the button, and depending on the size, I could go for a check raise from there. Definitely a little risky choice to do since it's a very wet board, and if they check back, I'm giving all the draws a free card, but that's what I do in the moment. And now the hijack bets, and he makes it $75. That is huge. It's an overbet. I was very surprised, and this player is very tight, so I definitely think he hit the board. Button folds. Big blind tanks for a decent amount of time and puts in the call, so on to us. And as I said, I was considering check raising, but he overbet. That is a huge bet, and I don't know if I want to check raise against that. And the big blind called, so I don't know if he'll be calling with 2 pairs or sets himself against such a big size on such a draw heavy board. And at the end of the day, I decide to just put in a call. Let's see the turn. Turn is beautiful. It's a queen, so now we have the nuts. The big blind checks, and yeah, maybe you would think that it may not be the best cards. They may kill the action, but I really didn't care because I thought we may be beating the spot by just how the action was on a flop, such a huge size and a big blind calling. So I'm just happy now that no hand can beat us. And I decided to lead out. And my reason was, I think the hijack was betting that big a lot of time with a top pair hand. He's trying to get protection. So he's going to be checking back a lot on his turn after getting 2 calls on the flop and then an overcard coming on the turn. And I think the big blind will be calling a lot with draws. I think he's check raising a lot himself on the flop with 2 pairs or sets. So I did not want it to get checked through and for the big blind to get a free river to hit his draw. So I lead out for $200. Hijack tanks for a little while and folds onto the big blind, and he goes into the tank. And finally, he goes all in for $815. I snap call. You don't always have a session like this where they go all in and you have the nuts. He asked me if I have queens, and I just tell him yes. And he says the most beautiful words. He has 2 pair, so we have no sweat since he is running dead. And thankfully, he was not on the draw, because on the river comes a 5 of clubs. So almost every draw comes in, and he flips over 6 deuce off for flop 2 pair, as he said, and we take down this very needed pot. And with that hand, we've got a beautiful stack of over $1,900, but we are in for a decent amount over $1,000. I've been adding on, so I'm not exactly sure how much we're in for, but I know at least now we are in the green. Plus we have $300 in promotion, so things are looking very good. After the queens, we go card dead for about an hour until we look down at the premium once again. Ace king suited and under the gun 1. I make it $15 and get the hijack and big blind to call. So 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes 10, 5, 6. So we have 2 overcards, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Definitely more than enough for me to put a c-bet bluff 3 ways. A lot of good turn cards that we could improve or keep on the bluff going. But in the moment, for some reason, don't ask me why, I do go for a check, and a hijack checks as well. So we go to a turn. Turn is a deuce, and yeah, after checking the flop, I don't think it makes sense for me to bet now on the turn. So I check. Another hijack bets. He makes it $25. That I didn't think makes much sense. I don't know what is deciding to check the flop and now bet the turn apart from pocket 2. So maybe now he has a heart draw. And the big blind calls. That felt the same way. He felt pretty weak, and I just felt maybe my ace king is good here. They're both are just some draws. Just the hijack is bluffing, and I definitely think if I hit an ace or a king, I'll be good. So I put in the call as well. River is a queen, so no help, and it checks around, and hijack flips over 6-3 off. So I don't know what the hell he's calling pre-flop with that. But definitely, he got max value for us on the turn, betting his pair of 6s, and he had a gut shot, and he takes it down. After that, we have king jack off in the button. There's 2 limpers. I make it 25. They both call. King high flop. I see bet for 35, and they both fold, so easy $50, and that brings us to the last hand of the session. We look down at queen 10 suited and under the gun 1. I make it $15 and get both the small blind and big blind to call, so 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes deuce 7-4, so we have 2 overcards and a backdoor flush draw. When it checks to us against the blinds that are super wide, and I'm early positioned, so this board definitely could hit the range better than us. I do decide to just check, so let's see the turn. Turn is great. It's a queen, so now we have top pair. Now things are interesting because the big blind needs out for $20. That, yeah, definitely the queen is better for us. So the fact that he bets here, or A, he has a hand that's not that worried about a queen. So maybe he has 2 pairs or a set, or he has a queen himself, or he just has a complete bluff. Because I don't think he's betting anything that hit the flop when the overcard comes on the turn. So with all that in mind, I think just the best choice here is to call. If I raise, I think I'm just getting better to call and worse to fold. So that's what I do. Small blind folds. We go heads up to a river. River is a 5, and now he decides to check. And I did not like betting in the spot because one is that river brings in some straights if he was bluffing with some equity on the turn. And all of the hands I think are leading on the turn most likely have our queen with a 10 kicker beat. So I just felt like this was a spot if I bet, only better hands are going to call. So I do decide to check, and good thing I did because he flips over 7-4 for flop 2 pair, and he takes it down. And with that, we book a win. Let's go. Not another losing session in a row. Feels amazing, especially how things have been going. So let's rack up, cash out, and see how we did. All right, let's go, guys. We had a winning session. I was worried because I was planning on filming every time until I won, so I was definitely not in the mood to film tomorrow because now I have a bunch of footage just backed up and I gotta edit. So if I'd have to film tomorrow as well, that'd have been so much content just backed up like crazy. So I'm very happy for the money and that I'm not gonna have to vlog this week anymore. I'm not sure about next week since now I have plenty of footage for the next upcoming weeks. But anyways, great session, and we got super lucky with the promotions. We won 2 of them, so we won $300 in promotions apart from the money. So I'm not sure how much exactly because I bought in a few times. I didn't really keep track. So let's head to the car and count it out and see how our win. So we broke it. We did not lose 8 times in a row. So our new record is 7 losses in a row. Hopefully we don't beat that record in a good amount of time. So yeah, let's head home. And we're home feeling amazing. So just counted the money. We were in for 1,200, out for 1,565 for a profit of 365 plus the $300 in promotions. So a total of $665. I'll take it, man. I would have took a profit of $1 just to end that damn losing run. So yeah, very happy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the vlogs are doing great for how long I've been. I feel so just want to say I appreciate it. You know, I feel like I'm growing quick. I was expecting this to go way slower. I was expecting to start filming and just get 10 views, you know, and just have to focus and grind it. So just the fact that I'm hitting thousands, I just feel amazing. I just feel super lucky. So I just want to say I appreciate it. And if you guys can subscribe, because I want to make more and more and more, grow those views, grow this community. So make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. As always, I love talking about the hands, you know, so have other opinions and debate about it. So if you disagree with anything, let me know, or if you would have played something differently, and like this video, and I'll see you guys next week.